Hi Leo, here is a general look at your solar chart for December 2014, and as always at this time of the year the Sun is in a fellow fire sign, that's Sagittarius, so that tends to boost your Leo creative energies, the Leo self-awareness, Leo self-confidence, and if you're a bit low then that can help bring things up again. So you would tend to have more fun activities on offer now. That's up until the 22nd. It just so happens that the Sun is in what I call the house of fun. So even though it might not equate to partying all the time, although it can do given the time of year, but it just is a time when you can, there's more on offer which can be entertaining for you, but also more opportunity for you to shine yourself, which is definitely your thing, and more opportunity for you to do things which you find personally empowering. Also, we have Mercury in the same place as the Sun, underpinning the Sun, and Venus. And Venus is there up until the 11th, and that means that you can express yourself in a more spontaneous, creative way, but there could be romance in the pipeline for you, or just hanging out with the sort of people that you really enjoy being with, or in a place you really enjoy being. They do say cats don't belong to people, but they belong to places, because cats are very territorial, but I should imagine it'll be all sorts of mixtures of the two, so depending on you as an individual, of course. But in general, this energy links you to anything which is just more playful and maybe artistic. It also links you to things which are speculative, things to do with investments, or maybe in money terms, but also in effort, in your abilities, which can be quite innovative and inspirational, or you feel more inspired, but definitely it has a touch of the romantic with it. And then Mercury is there as well, that's up until the 17th, so playing around with ideas, having more of a laugh really with others, socializing, definitely socializing going on here. But also all of these three in this area here put a huge emphasis on the child and the energy of the child. So if there are no children around that you have access to, then it can be the inner child, or indeed it can mean both, because getting anywhere in proximity of children, and I would say animals as well, pets, that tends to bring out our playful side, our inner child side, our spontaneous side. So there's more likely to be that kind of energy around here, and you can be feeling more in the flow of your creative self-expression at this time. Venus moves out of there first into a more workaday sort of area to do with being helpful to others, being of assistance to others, and you finding that they, others tend to want to be cooperative with you as well, particularly when particularly with Venus in there, because Venus has a tendency to want to team up with somebody. So teaming up with someone in these practical sorts of ways, and you helping somebody with your support, but you also feeling helped by them. And that can be outside people like service providers or health providers as well. And even if a problem isn't resolved, straight away, the interaction tends to be more sociable, more enjoyable, maybe entertaining in some sort of way. And then Venus is followed by Mercury, which comes out of this area that I call the house of fun, and goes into this more service-orientated, maintenance-orientated area. And then there is more talking and thinking about jobs, or lists or tasks or chores or obligations or health matters, in fact, and your mind is more upon these sorts of things, and maybe paperwork to do with these sorts of things, correspondence to do with these sorts of things, diet and exercise, that kind of thing as well. And then finally the sun comes into there on the 22nd, so they all leg it from the house of fun and the house of partying into this more sort of, okay, let's roll up our sleeves and get organized, let's get our act together area. It's the stitch in time saves 9 part of the zodiac in my book. And you will be dealing with more niggly details probably at this time, and getting to grips with things, getting to grips with on the practical side of things, whether that's to do with health, your own or somebody else's, or indeed if it's to do with what you're doing in a working sense, whether that is your sort of formal employment, or whether that's just projects that you're getting on with. And then, Mars up until the 5th is actually already in this sector. So as the month kicks off, Mars is already activating this more service-orientated area. However, the weight of emphasis of the Sun, Mercury, and Venus will keep it kind of, lighter, maybe more sociable. There will be other things going on like hobbies or even sporting pursuits or romantic liaisons, or children, or you just getting the opportunity to get more entertainment. And I keep banging on about this because it's about time. A lot of Leos actually have had a bit of a rough ride this year at certain stages, and as a matter of fact, this is the crossover month, where the reason for that, which would have been Saturn coming at Leo from Scorpio in a really challenging angle. And unless you are very late Leo, you will know what I'm talking about. Richard Branson, for instance, this is late October, he's a Leo, and he just lost one of his spacecraft, and of course the pilot. So dreams crashing down to Earth, but it takes a huge amount to stop a Leo from their fixed idea and their fixed path. So I think he'll just carry on with that. Yes, it is very sad for the pilot and his family. So this Leo energy, it responds a lot better to that entrepreneurial, creative, active, let's make something happen, let's do side of life. But if your power is coming through the working side of life, which will tend to do starting from the 11th, but then it builds up and gets much more serious from the 22nd onwards, then that's how you connect with your core, is through your work. How your creativity can cascade out through you. It would be through your chores and through maybe health matters or health related things as well. So Mars is really stirring up that area, which I call, the stitch in time area, up until the 5th, and it's also health related. And you may be more involved with skilled people, or you may be having to use your own skills or learn new skills with Mars there. Mars quickly leaves there though, and is in your opposite sign, Aquarius, whilst the Sun and Venus and Mercury are all in the House of Fun. So with Mars coming into Aquarius, your opposite sign, both of those are about partnership. Both of those are about mutual interaction, mutual attraction, hopefully, with another. But it can mean, close relationships, as in members of the family or working connections as well. It can also mean that. So as I say, this is a general look, but because of the agenda of another and there can be more demands put on you. You're working really, really hard because of their expectation or their requirement or their need or their problem. You can just feel like you're getting tired out because of any of those things. But on the other hand, you and someone in a cooperative sort of a way, which particularly from the 11th onwards is most likely, that can be very productive and very beneficial for both parties, as long as you don't step on each other's toes, as long as one doesn't try to dominate the other, which, because you've got Mars there, you can come across as a little bit, I'm not going to say bossy, am I? Yes, I'm going to say bossy. You can come across as a little bit bossy or a little bit, shall we say, dictatorial, and a little bit like, okay, I've got this one, I've got it in hand, you don't have to do, and if it's supposed to be you doing something together with another, now it's strange, because flip that over the other side, that energy of somebody being a bit bossy or somebody sort of having the upper hand over you, that also can be, it depends on your natal chart, it just depends on what kind of person you are, really, that they can, that energy might be coming at you rather than coming through you. So just be aware of that from the 5th onwards. However, if we take the best of the best of it all, and the really the aspect in the way that it wants to be experienced, or it deserves really to be experienced, is that both of you can benefit, because another one's willingness to be decisive, to take action on your part, and also your willingness to be decisive and take action on their part or because of them or whatever, and the two of you together will help you to be more effective, can help you to be more functional, can help you just improve whatever the situation is that you want to improve, more than if you were going it alone. And during this extended trance, it is 6 weeks, so during this extended transit, diplomacy and people skills need to be cultivated more, because sometimes with Mars there you can be a bit blunt. Okay, and then until the 24th, Saturn is just completing this long cycle where she's been right at the root of your chart, and you've been seeing to business related to the dust swept under the carpet, to do with the past, to do with family matters, loose ends from the past, also therapeutic work, as I've mentioned before, that would have been a good idea, body-centered approach, can build better emotional and physical foundations. And this is quite an emotional area. So again, this has been here since October 2012. You would have felt some emotional moments going on with this one. Now on the 24th, that's Christmas Eve, Saturn moves out of there into a much more positive angle to your sun sign. Saturn is always challenging wherever she goes, but at least she is really, you're going more in the flow of her now. You're more in agreement, really, whereas the previous one, you might have kind of dug those feline heels in and said, I don't want to go there. It's done and dusted. I don't want to do this. And yet, somehow or other, by hook or by crook, Saturn would have kind of contrived to create conditions where you had to face it. You had to deliberately do the work. And it's about baggage, basically. It's about baggage. But now with Saturn, for 6 months, Saturn is going to be in this new position, and this is you paying more focused, nurturing attention to all your creative side, Leo, your creative activities, but also to do with children, to do with them, and taking the long view on your creativity, on the education maybe, or the needs of children, or those who are maybe underprivileged in some way, or who are needy, or without knowledge, or without who feel disempowered, who do not understand their own power and their own identity. So, you know, however this is working for you, this is like, you know, a kind of a very, very gradual building in this area. Now, Saturn does come out of there for 3 to 4 months from June, but then does go back into there towards the end of the year and will stay in there for about 2 years. So, you know, I'm not jumping the gun telling you about this now. And also, sporting type activities can be slowly developed, and you can evolve through those, or leisure, or hobbies, and also any romantic type connection that you have. Anything romantic, anything that makes your heart sing. So it might be another person, or it might just be something artistic, something like that. Now, I should have mentioned that Venus is going over Pluto and Uranus, also Mercury and the Moon. So watch out for between the that was the 19th to 26th. That week there can be a little bit bumpy. In fact, it does go over the top of Christmas, doesn't it? For those of you listening who actually celebrate that tradition. But for many, it is the festive season one way or another. So anyway, between the 19th and the 23rd, there can be more intensity. There can be more feeling of emotional involvement, or emotional, you know, you can, somehow or other, a nerve can be touched. Also, it may be a time when you start to get to the bottom of something. Now, you Leos have actually had Pluto transiting your house of health for a long time. And Pluto is always about researching right down to the true truth with a capital T wherever it goes, digging and drilling right down through many, many, many layers and blind alleys and false turns and just misdirections to what the root of this is. And whatever this is for you, this could mean some kind of breakthrough energy, some kind of transition energy going on there. So you do have Uranus in a very, very strong positive angle to your sun sign. So with Venus and Mercury and the Moon all going over those two, I would say that you could benefit, but you can feel a bit touchy. you know, it wouldn't be too easy to sort of get you to react. But on the other hand, you know, you could be pushing somebody else's buttons as well. And finally, oh yes, and Saturn, you Leos born in the last 10 days, or with 26 degrees rising, going to feel the energy the most, although the whole sign feels it. And Leos born in the last 10 days, the first few days of the last 10 days, the last 10 days, no, that's not right. You Leos born in the first couple of days, or with 0 to 1 degree rising, are going to feel the Saturn influence the most, but the whole sign will tend to feel it. And then finally, Jupiter is in your sign, and this is the time for you to be reaching out into very, very new territories. Yes, cats like their territories, but actually sometimes, you know, you need to take new directions, and this is definitely it. This is you maybe, you know, experimentally testing the water on something. This is definitely you going out into almost like out of your comfort zone. I mean, not where you're going to be really scared, but you're just thinking, you know, I always wondered about that. So try it, you know, if you can, or go there, because this is more travel orientated energy as well. Just avoid trusting to luck. You know, make sure you've done your homework on something and it checks out. But this is very much an expansive energy for you up until next August, so don't miss out on it. And you Leos born in the last 10 days, or with 20 to 23 degrees rising. In fact, you Leos born around mid-month will be feeling this energy the most this forecast period. And that's it. I wish you a wonderful time during the festive season. I hope you have have a really magic time with others, and you don't work too hard because of all that service stuff coming in. And also the bare bones of this is written up on my website, and listen to your moon sign or your rising sign as well. That'll give you a little bit more information. And I'll be seeing you again soon with all of the stars for 2015. So take care, and I'll see you the next time.